A Vancouver team has taken cheerleading to the next level.
Round it goes, where it stops, Vancouver knows. Walk up in the place and we're all stars. If you're intimidated, you cannot relate. Vancouver! Unmistakable, indescribable. Icons on the man, you already know. You can't roll the dice, take my advice. Always there.
So that's a little bit of the music. The Vancouver All Stars Blackout performed to recently, and wow, what a performance. They just made history by winning first place at the Cheerleading World Championships in Orlando, Florida last week. And this is the first time a team in Western Canada has taken the top prize. And we've got two people with us to talk about this today. Morgan Kerr is an athlete who has been with the All Stars Cheer Club since she was 7 years old. Morgan, hello there.
Hello.
Great to have you with us, and congratulations. And also with us is Liz Gigante Ulrich, the owner and former coach of the Vancouver All Stars. Liz, hello to you.
Hello.
Big congratulations to you both. So, Morgan, what was that like? You know, when you're in the performance, do you know we've got this? How does it feel?
It was honestly undescribable. I've been in this sport for so many years, and there's like a crazy feeling when you know you're with like your best friends and you've just had the performance of a lifetime. And that was really our goal when we went down to Florida, and then winning was just the cherry on top. And yeah, it was honestly undescribable.
Well, and Morgan, how would you describe the competition there? Like, you're up against the world's bests, aren't you?
We are, yeah. It is pretty insane. We have come close to winning so many times, and everyone that we were against is incredibly talented, and to finally be able to be in that top spot was pretty incredible.
Oh my. Okay, Liz, what can you tell us about the team, the All Stars Cheer Club?
Well, first of all, I'd like to make sure, I think Morgan's just very humble, but I think just to elaborate a little bit on the situation. So in that division that Morgan just competed in with 23 of her teammates, the top teams in the world, for example, one of the very top contenders that was in the top three was Norway. They're the reigning world champions, and they had just competed in the European National Championships. And they had just won. Second place is actually the Louisville cheerleaders, who, maybe 400 girls come to a tryout and 24 get selected. The week prior, they had just competed at the National Cheerleading Association which is the biggest collegiate national championship in America, and they had just won. And then they turned themselves into an all-star team and competed at the World Championship that we were at last weekend. And they ended up in second. And so over the years, we've been competing in that division, and we have, like Morgan pointed out, we've gotten bronze, we've gotten silver, and this is the first time that we've achieved gold.
Well, it's an incredible energy. But Liz, I would like to hear more about the time and energy that you've put into this club over the years.
Well, we just finished our 25th year of being in existence. So Vancouver All Stars started in the 2000. And over the years, we've grown. I was originally a high school teacher and was doing this as a side gig. And then one day we went to the very first our first World Championships was the second one ever. It was 2006. And we realized there was no way we were ever going to be contenders if we kept on training the way we were training, which was renting out gymnastics clubs wherever they had time. And that year we decided it's time to open up our own gym. And I jumped from teaching to entrepreneurship and opened up a cheer gym. And we just celebrated 25 years of excellence and 25 years of striving towards a gold globe.
Right. Okay. So, Morgan, we've got a lot of people listening on the radio right now. And for the people who are streaming online, they could have seen you perform. How would you describe this level of cheering? I mean, this is not just pom-poms on the sidelines kind of cheering. This is incredibly athletic.
Yeah, I think it takes like so much work, so much effort to get to that level. And really, and I think Liz has done a really great job of this as we've gotten older, a lot of it is a mental game, and it is how much you can trust your teammates, how much stability you can build like within your team and that teamwork foundation. And I think, yeah, just over the years, like the physical part is one thing, and that just takes practice and practice and practice. But having that trust within your team is really the way that you can get the results you want.
And Liz, how do you build that trust? How do you build that team when you can get to a point like Morgan described off the top, being with your best friends, and obviously they've been training together for years, you know, they're going to be there for each other to make sure they don't fall.
Well, and just like other sports, the physical part, like Morgan mentioned, is the part that they're going to train on their own and with their teammates to be the best possible versions of themselves. But everybody at this level, this is level 7, which is the highest level of cheerleading available. The kids, when they're young, they'll start at level 1 and they'll go all the way through the ranks to level 7. And the physical part is what they'll train for, obviously. The hours and hours of flipping your body upside down, catching humans. It's a little bit like Cirque du Soleil, but we don't have nets. And what will happen is you get to a point where there's lots of ups, lots of downs. There's competitions where you go and like a skater, you might have a great routine, but you might not land all your jumps. So they might not land all their stunts. They might not hit them. And so what we have to do is we start integrating the mental side of the game, which is training them on the mental part and how to have a toolbox on game day so that they know that when the doubt starts settling in, when the fears of maybe making an error, just all the stuff that happens, big, important end of the year events where there's a lot at stake. And so we start introducing at a young age some of the tools that they need in order to be able to self-control and self-regulate those doubts and to recall, why they're ready and to use self-affirmations and self-talk. And then as they get to the highest levels, they do more mental training, more game day training, and make sure that toolbox is ready to go. And these girls on this team, the average athlete will have probably done anywhere between 10 and 15 years of All-Star. And so when you have a team that just comes together and they have the physical ability, then they have an incredible routine that's enjoyable to watch, entertaining. And, here's another important thing is that the judges are rooting for you. And some years the judges are rooting for us. And some years they're kind of like, girls, that was okay. You can do better. And so this year, the year right from the beginning, not a moment was wasted at any practice. There was a practice plan in place, not only to make sure that every minute was utilized towards the common goal, but to also make sure that in the end, they were set up for success when it mattered.
Well, it was an incredible performance. It really was. And Morgan, when you hear that, the physical challenges, the psychological preparation as well. I've got to think, like, you've been doing this since you were 7, but I know a lot of your teammates, they balance university and full-time jobs while remaining fully committed to this sport and to this team. How challenging is that?
It takes a lot, and I think it ends up being easier when you really are just super passionate about it. It, like, for me specifically, it's been something I've never felt like I had to make time for. It was just, I'm a cheerleader, I love doing this, and this is what I want to do. And I think it honestly helped throughout university, having that time where I got to just escape the stressors of the real life world and can just go to cheer, be with my friends, be active, and enjoy what I was doing. And so I think it created a really good sense of time management, and that throughout my entire life. And like, those are life skills that I'll never forget. And I always say that I owe all that to cheerleading. So yeah, I think
can
it
fall back
been
on it.
very
And Morgan,
helpful.
if there's a young girl listening today that's saying, hey, this is something I would really be interested in, what would be your advice for starting down that road?
I think just absolutely put your foot in the door and try it out. There's going to be hard days, there's going to be upsets and disappointments, but at the end of the day, like, it is the best choice I've ever made was to join cheerleading. And yeah, I just try it, and I promise it'll be a good experience if you just take it in and enjoy every moment, the hard ones and the good ones.
Well, great. Morgan, Liz, congratulations again on an amazing performance. You can ride this high for a while. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Liz Gigante Ulrich, the owner of the Vancouver All Stars. Morgan Kerr is an athlete from Blackout. They have brought British Columbia first ever trophy from the Cheerleading World Championships down in Florida.